At the beginning of the film, we are introduced to a small, seemingly happy family. Maya, the affectionate wife, is always accompanied by her husband, Claes, and their son, Magnus. On that bright morning, before starting their daily routine, Maya pays close attention to the finest details. Even something as simple as a stain on her husband's shirt does not escape her mind, showing how much Maya always cares for those she loves. After affectionately sending Magnus off to school, Maya continues her journey to the hospital where she works. As a cardiologist, Maya practices her profession with utmost dedication. At the hospital, Maya does not only interact with her patients, but also stays in constant contact with her friend and colleague, Signa. They share a close bond, supporting each other and sharing stories about their professional lives. The warmth of this friendship is one of the sources of Maya's strength in facing her difficult days. Maya's life often seems monotonous, trapped in a daily routine that sometimes makes her feel bored. However, Maya always holds on to the principle that life has multiple ways of being lived. Every morning, she dedicates time to care for her son Magnus, and she always shows deep devotion to her husband Claes. Maya believes that although routine can be boring, there is happiness to be found in the small moments with loved ones. One day, Maya receives news that Claes, her husband, has just returned from a business trip out of town. Filled with enthusiasm, Maya goes to pick him up. However, on the way back home, amidst the quiet streets, Claes suddenly asks Maya to pull over near the residential complex. In a flat tone, Claes reveals something completely unexpected: he wants a divorce. Maya, who initially thought it might be a joke, is shocked when Claes firmly gets out of the car and begins to walk away without further explanation. Maya is silent, confused, and stunned by the profound decision her husband has just made. She tries to chase after Claes, hoping for an explanation or perhaps a change of mind. But Maya stops in the car when she sees that Claes has been picked up by another woman, Susanna. Maya feels as though her heart has shattered, unable to believe the reality she has just witnessed. She is overwhelmed by feelings of confusion, disappointment, and disbelief. What just happened? How did everything end so quickly? All these questions echo in her mind, unable to find answers. Upon arriving home, Maya feels anxious, her heart filled with questions. But when she opens the door, she finds Claes waiting in the living room with Magnus. A tense silence fills the room as Claes firmly explains to his son that he and Maya are separating. Claes tries to explain the matter in a way that seems logical, even arranging for Magnus to spend some time with him every weekend. Magnus, despite his shock and confusion, remains silent. No words come out of his mouth, only a look of sadness etched on his face. When he finally asks, "Why are you separating?" Claes gives a vague answer, emphasizing that divorce is the nature of adults. Without any further explanation, Claes leaves quickly, leaving Maya and Magnus stuck in their confusion. Despite her grief, Maya's disappointment does not prevent her from moving forward. She tries to hold on, even though there is a void in her heart that is difficult to fill. Signa, her loyal friend who always stands by her side, tries to encourage Maya to open her heart to another man, such as Sebastian, their colleague at work whom they also know is a good man. But Maya responds firmly: in her life, there has only been one man she has known and loved, Claes, her husband, and even her former lover from the past. There was no room for another man in her heart, at least not yet. Signa, seeing the weight of Maya's burden, tries to enlighten her. She gently advises Maya to keep her heart open, because perhaps a new ray of sunshine will come one day, bringing new light and energy into her life. However, Maya answers with confidence that there is only one person she misses: Claes. The desire to return to the life they built together is still very strong within her, even though her heart was shattered by this sudden decision. After some time, as agreed upon, Magnus is scheduled to spend the weekend with his father. Maya can only watch in silence as Claes arrives to pick up her son. Maya's heart is heavy, but she knows that this is part of a big change in their lives. When Maya sees Claes calmly coming to take Magnus, it reminds her of how much their lives have changed, and how some things are beyond her control. That night, Maya feels a strong urge to go to the house where Claes lives with the new woman in his life. She is not sure what to expect from her arrival, but her curiosity and desire to understand what is truly happening take control of her. On her way there, Maya studies photos of the house on the internet, trying to imagine what Claes and his new wife's life would be like there. Every detail she sees seems to give her a clearer picture of their separation, of the world that has now become so far away from her and her son. Soon, Maya is surprised by Clay's appearance. Without saying a word, Clay hands her a file containing a divorce agreement that she has to sign. Maya remains silent, staring at the file as if she cannot believe the reality in front of her. No words come out of her mouth. With heavy steps, Maya takes the file and leaves the house, filled with deep sadness. It feels like a burden she cannot shake off, an inevitable end, yet still so difficult to accept. Maya continues to live her life without Clay, but her longing for him remains constant. One day, while she is sitting with Sebastian, a woman calls her. It turns out to be a detective Maya hired to investigate Clay's activities. He tells her that Clay is not only with Susanna, but is also with several other women. Hearing this, Maya immediately calls Clay and scolds him angrily. That night, Maya decides to escape from her confusion. She goes to a bar with Signa, and there she meets a young man named Andreas, who then welcomes her. After the party ends, Signa decides to go home first. Shortly after, a man approaches Maya, but Andreas appears and asks the man to leave. There is a small scuffle between Andreas and the man, but Andreas finally manages to take Maya to his residence, where he lives. That night, they finally have a love story. The next morning, as Maya is leaving the residence, a young woman named Olivia, who also admires Andreas, accidentally comments that Maya looks like Andreas's mother. This comment embarrasses Maya a lot, especially when Andreas's friends share the laugh. To proceed with the divorce, Maya is forced to answer several questions through an electronic application, including questions related to the division of her inheritance and her husband's inheritance. Maya then contacts Andreas, and they spend time together swimming in the river. Furthermore, Maya boldly begins to invite Andreas to her house. Maya's happiness with Andreas seems to bring back the vitality that had almost disappeared from her face. She even allows Andreas to take a picture of her. Without her knowledge, Andreas sends the picture to Clay's phone. Magnus discovers this and realizes that his mother now has a new boyfriend. However, he cannot stop his mother and lets Maya enjoy her happiness with Andreas. After some time, Clay comes to pick up Magnus as usual. Clay, who already knows about Maya's relationship with Andreas, tells Maya that he and Susanna are buying a new house and need the property rights from the house where Maya lives. Clay advises Maya to buy the house at a reasonable price so it becomes hers. Maya is shocked and asks about Clay's promise that the house would be given to Magnus and herself. However, Clay emphasizes that he did not promise to pay his ex-wife's mortgage forever, and then leaves her. That night, Maya meets Andreas and explains to him that she has a son from her marriage to Clay. Andreas is shocked to hear this information, but tries to accept it. The next day, Maya goes to a lawyer to consult about the house problem. The lawyer explains that Clay owes money to his company and must pay half of the house's sale price. The lawyer realizes that Maya will get nothing from selling the house, and advises her to negotiate compensation if she does not sign the divorce papers. Maya returns home and finds Andreas playing video games with Magnus. She reluctantly asks Andreas to leave, because she does not want him to be there while Magnus is around. Andreas tries to explain that he is serious about being with Maya, but when Magnus sees them, Maya immediately tells him to leave. Maya tries to explain to Magnus that Andreas is her boyfriend, but Magnus casually responds that he has no problem with it. Maya then goes to Andreas and insists that they will not continue their relationship. Andreas becomes visibly frustrated and leaves. One day, Maya begins to feel lonely because she is alone at home, without her husband and son, and she has already broken up with Andreas. That night, Maya dances passionately at home, then goes to look for Andreas at his residence. Soon, Andreas and Olivia appear in front of her. Maya tries to explain to Andreas, but Andreas seems unwilling to betray Olivia and leaves Maya alone. Signa then finds Maya sleeping in front of her house and takes her home. On the way back home, Maya is deep in thought about her future and her life. Then at home, she is shocked to find Magnus unconscious and lying on the floor. Maya immediately takes Magnus to the hospital to get help. After several days of treatment, Magnus finally regains consciousness and recovers. Clay also comes to his attention as a father. That night, filled with confusion, Maya has to decide to cancel her thesis. The next day, in front of Clay and Susanna, Maya invites them to eat together at her house. Clay asks if Maya has sold the house, but Maya reveals that she sold the house and bought it back. That night, Before Clays goes home, an awkward conversation takes place between him and Maya. Clays tries to act like someone else, no longer Maya's husband, but Maya's longing for Clays has never faded. Finally, a love story arises between them. The next day, after a party at the house, Clays, before leaving, expresses his disappointment at leaving Maya. He says that although Susanna is not boring, Maya has so many unforgettable memories. After some time, Maya receives an email encouraging her to continue her thesis and obtain funding from a donor to complete her research. When Magnus learns of this, he is overjoyed by his mother's success. At the end of the film, as Maya stares at the sunlight coming through her window, she begins to realize what Signa said about a little sunshine shining on her life. Maya decides to go to the park, and finds Andreas running past her. When Andreas notices Maya sitting, he turns to meet her, and they walk together. The film ends. If you liked the movie, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and activate the bell button to receive everything new we offer.